So we've been stocked in for about 3 days with the snow here in Colorado. So I thought, well, it's a great time for me to redo the ridge line for my one of my hammock tarps. And so, come along, join me. It'll probably be fun. I made a couple dowels for my toggles and made this out of fat wood. Drew a little hole in it, probably about a little over an inch long. Taking the snake skin off of my tarp here. There's about 50 feet of ridgeline here that I have to replace. Doesn't have to be that long, however you want to make it, but alright, so that's that. Put that aside for now. This is my Dyneema tarp from Dutchware. This is the winter version that has the doors, the closed doors on the end. You see me use this quite a bit in my other videos. So I just have to unpack it here. Now I got the old Dutchware clips on here. I think these have been fantastic. But I'm kind of an old guy. I prefer not to use hardware. I just want to use dowels. All right, so nothing against Dutchware. I think it's been great. This tarp has lasted me for, I don't know, what has it been, 5 years, maybe more, 5, 6 years. But the cord's starting to fray a little bit, and it's just time to replace it. So what I'm replacing it with is this Dyneema Core Spectra. I don't know, a few different names for it, but it has a strength of like 450 pounds. Don't need anything that crazy, but it's super lightweight. And I've used it on some other, a lot of other things that I have for like guidelines and etc. It's a bit reflective, so that helps a bit too if you're wandering out at night trying to find, where your tarp is after you've gone to the bathroom and you're kind of dazed out there in the woods. That's never happened. All right, here we go. So this does fray a little bit on the end, so get the old lighter out here and kind of seal it up a little bit. If you want, you could just kind of rub it with your fingers here to make it a little bit less wacky. All right, so there you go. Don't have to get too fancy with this. Just to make sure it doesn't fray too much, you just seal up the ends like that. That's all it is. All right, so I took the old one out. I didn't measure this, but it's around 50 feet. It's always a little bit long for me, probably at least 10 feet longer than I needed. So what I did is I made the new one just a little bit shorter. It saves a little weight, but it's also a little bit clumsy when you're out there. You got all this extra cord laying around, and so I rarely needed anything that long. So I cut this down to probably about 40 feet, 35 feet, whatever you like. Right, so now I have to rethread it through here. It'll be fun. So on each end of this Dutchware tarp, they have this kind of thing. I don't even know what it's called, but I'll probably look up and put it down there. very strong. It's kind of a shock cord kind of a thing going on. But on the end here is this little loopster. I don't have to use this. I could take this off and just do my own thing on there. But yeah, I'm just gonna leave this on here. But you could. It's kind of a D-ring, kind of a funky little end here, where you could put, you know, your own connection. You could put a toggle like this if you wanted to. That does essentially the same thing as this does, but this works fine. There's nothing wrong with it, so I'm going to keep it on here. To use this, I have to thread this through like this on both ends. So here we go. This cord's a little bit more rigid than the old one. The old one was kind of soft and pliable. This is a little bit more rigid. I don't know if I like it or not, but I don't think it matters a whole lot. All right, so I see I'm nearing the end here. So on this end, I'm going to tie a bowl in. Actually, wrong. I'm going to put my toggle through. I punch my little hole. Just let it go. Just let it go. Let it go. Just let go. Bowling on this end. Or you can tie whatever you want. I just like to have a little loop here. This will help me secure my toggle later if I want to, or whatever I want to use it for. But usually, this gives me some options if I tie a bowline on each end. That also keeps the toggle from falling off. So there you go. All right, so that's one end. Let's get the other. The way Dutch work puts these things together is that there's a seam right down the middle here. So I just follow this and let this fall through. Just so I make sure I'm tracking good here. All right, here's the other end. I'll do the same thing here. Punch this to the other side. This end's already sealed up. Same kind of connector on this end. Just slide this through. Go. My toggle in. Tie my bowl in. You can see the size of my bowl in here is not that big. It's probably, maybe an inch, maybe a half inch. What you want to do is make sure that you can still stick this through like this. You don't want it too loose, don't want it too tight. And that's all the size you need. You don't need any bigger than that. That's it. So this is how Dutchware has it rigged. You just tie that around there, around the end a couple times. Put your ridge line here. Little bungee action going on here if you need it. Also, just a few feet from the end, I like to put on this little tension knot here with a little loop, a little bowline. And what that does is it gives me a little bit of option to hang something from the inside of my tarp, like for instance my bug net or anything else. You could actually put a few of these on here. And the tension knot will work just like any other tension knot you pull. It'll be fine if you put some pressure on it, but you can slide it around at will. Alright, so at the end of this, I have my bowline, I have my toggle. The next thing I want to do is I want to put on a prusik loop. I tied this with a couple of double fisherman knots, and this is number 18 bank line, tarred bank line, twisted tarred bank line, number 18. I just made this little loop, fisherman's knot right here, double fisherman's knot. So I'm going to tie my little prusik on here. There you go, just dress it up. Tighten it, dress it, tighten it, dress it. Okay, so let's see how this is going to work when you tie it to a tree. So on one end of your ridge line, you just wrap it around your tree. Notice that you have your bowline right here and your toggle. Slip your toggle through, then tighten her up. And it's just that simple, and this will stay very tight, very nice. All right, so here's how this works. Let's pretend I'm wrapped around a tree here. Here's your sliding press-it loop. Here's your toggle. Fold it over like this. Wrap the press-it loop around it. Now this acts just like a trucker's hitch, except it'll stay right there. If you just let it go, it's good to go. But what you might also want to do is just do a little hitch here, just to keep it tight if you want. Easy release. Loosen this up. You're ready to go. All right, so I want to show you how quick this is to set up. Let's go. These really lightweight snake skins are, they can snare up a little bit, so be careful as you're pulling this through so you don't snag it and rip it apart. But eventually you get to the end, and there you go. Now with this tarp, I roll this up. You could definitely put this in a stuff sack if you want. But I save the trouble of a stuff sack and I just roll it nice and tight. And then this end, I leave it open. I don't roll it up or nothing. Roll it around, cinch it down good. On the side, you just bring it around like this. You can use a toggle to tuck it under. There you go. Nice compact. You could strap it to the back of your pack. You could just put it inside your pack like that. Really easy to deploy later. Just flip this over, unwind it, you're ready to go. No stuff sack to worry about. All self-contained. So there you go, folks, a nice little winter project to keep you busy during these winter days where you're kind of stuck inside. And just a little gear maintenance in the middle of winter. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Hey, this is David on Earth. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. And go to the website for some deals on gear. All right, see you on the trail.